Welcome everybody to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School for tonight's Monday night baseball matchup as the Mingus Marauders take on the Estrella Foothills High School Wolves. I'm Philip Catafamo, happy to have you along with me here on a warm evening here in Cottonwood, Arizona, as the Marauders look to carry some momentum from a Wednesday victory against the Cactus Cobras into tonight's matchup in a non-conference matchup against the 4A Southwest Region Estrella Foothills Wolves. The Wolves are coming off of back-to-back victories, one on Thursday against Desert Edge, and one on Friday against a formidable foe and a familiar foe for the Mingus Marauders in the Prescott Badgers, which we'll talk about the Badgers a little bit later. But Estrella Foothills beat the Badgers on Friday and also beat Desert Edge on Thursday, whereas the Marauders got a victory on Wednesday against the Cactus Cobras, and then you have to go 2 weeks back to April 23rd when the Marauders took a loss to American Leadership Academy Queen Creek 3-1 in a close loss. I talked with Coach Quesada, and they are just looking to finish strong on the season and go into next year with a lot of optimism. They've got 3 games left on the schedule, this one, and then a twofer against the Prescott Badgers. They'll be on the road tomorrow to take on the Badgers in game 1 of 2, as the Marauders will finish up their regular season matchup against those Prescott Badgers on Wednesday, and we'll have that game for you right here on Verde Valley TV. We got a lot more to talk about regarding these two teams and the matchup we have in store for you tonight. You can see Coach Quesada and the Marauders down there getting ready for their matchup against the Estrella Foothills Wolves, who are coming into this game, as I mentioned, off of back-to-back victories. The Wolves are 8-8 overall, 5-5 in the region. I was talking with their head coach, Patrick McCubbins, and he said this is a bit of a strange year for them. They've been in the state tourney he was saying, consecutively for a few years, and this year they had to take a little bit of a step back. But much like Coach Quesada, both coaches are very optimistic about the futures of their programs going into next season. They're excited for a matchup. Both these teams sort of line up right next to each other in the rankings, which we will talk about on the other side of this break. When we come back, we will talk about both teams and how they fared last week and the week before, where they sit in the rankings. We'll get you the starting lineups, we'll get you national anthem, and we will also get you the first pitch right here on Verde Valley TV. It is Marauders taking on the Wolves on VVTV. Stay with us.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle, get Gettles, and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon, Attorneys at Law. Trust well placed.
Want to welcome you back here to Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School for our baseball matchup here on a warm Monday night in Cottonwood, Arizona, as those Mingus Marauders take on the Estrella Foothills Wolves. I'm Philip Catafamo. Happy to have you along with me here on Verde Valley TV. Let's talk about those Estrella Foothills High School Wolves. They come into this game 8-8 overall. You can see them warming up over on the far side of the field on the first base side. On the visitor side of the field, of course. Coach Patrick McCubbins and his 4A Southwest Region Estrella Foothills Wolves, as I mentioned, 8-8 overall this season, 5-5 in region. In 2019, they were 14-4 overall, 6-2 in their region. And as I mentioned, speaking with Coach McCubbins, 2020 hurt the program a little bit, but as I mentioned, he was telling me that they've got a lot of good younger players. Most of their starting lineup consists of underclassmen. So Coach McCubbins is very excited about next season and going forward, and he is pretty sure that Estrella Foothills will be right back where they were in 2019 next season. But as for this season, like I mentioned, 8-8 overall, 5-5 in the region, looking for a non-region win to help improve that overall record. Looking on the outside in terms of making the playoffs this year for Coach McCubbins and the Wolves, but just like Coach Quesada, they're just looking to finish the season strong and make sure they send their seniors out with as many wins as they can. These Estrella Foothills Wolves played last Thursday against Desert Edge on the road and won 6-3. Brock DiBattista, the freshman, 3 for 4 in that game with 2 RBIs. Corbin Triplett, 1 for 2 with 1 RBI, the senior. Cannon Scrimmager, a junior, went 1 for 3. Jacob Hitchcock, the second baseman, who we will see tonight at that position, he went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Cooper Vanderhei, the sophomore, Cooper Vanderhei, 3 innings pitched, 0 hits, no earned runs, and 5 strikeouts in that victory against Desert Edge. We won't see Cooper on the mound tonight. We will actually see Corbin Triplett, who did pitch in that win against Desert Edge last Thursday. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 1 run for the senior pitcher. Like I mentioned, he'll be on the bump for the Wolves tonight. They also got a victory against a familiar foe to the Mingus Marauders, the 4A Grand Canyon Region Prescott Badgers. Estrella Foothills able to beat the Badgers last Friday, 9-6. In a victory at home. Keani Raber, the junior, 1 for 1. Can't ask for any more there. Tyler Naramore, the junior, 1 for 1. Demario Faison, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a stolen base in that one for the sophomore. Corbin Triplett, 1 for 3 with a triple with 3 RBIs and a double for the senior. As I mentioned, he'll be pitching tonight. And then Garrett Sloan and Demario Faison getting it done on the mound. Sloan, the junior, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, allowed 3 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 walk and 6 Ks, where Demario Faison, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, and 1 walk and 8 strikeouts for both pitchers. As I mentioned, we will see Corbin Triplett on the mound tonight for Coach McCubbins and the Estrella Foothills Wolves. For Coach Quesada and the Mingus Marauders, they are looking to continue their winning streak. They got a win last Wednesday against the Cactus Cobras, 8-4. A solid victory for Coach Quesada and the Mingus Marauders. As I mentioned, the Marauders just trying to finish out the season strong. Great to get a victory. They finally snapped that very long losing streak they had. They suffered a loss on April 23rd. That would have been 2 Fridays ago. American Leadership Academy Queen Creek beat them 3-1. Ryan Lindsay 1 for 2 with a double in that game. Ben Balo, the freshman, 1 for 2 with a walk. Jonathan Sanchez, the senior, 1 for 3. Zach Harrison went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a home run. Another homer on the stat sheet for Zach Harrison. I believe he has 3. We'll take a look at the stats here in just a second. Trey Peters, who will be on the mound for the Marauders tonight, did pitch in that loss against American Leadership Academy. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts on 88 pitches. We'll see Trey Peters tonight. We'll also see Jan Alvarez tonight. Coach Quesada getting both pitchers some work in a non-conference game before they focus their attention against Prescott on the road tomorrow. And then, as I mentioned, they will be back at home on Wednesday. We'll be doing a dual broadcast on Wednesday. We'll be broadcasting the softball game against Prescott, which could decide the region, and we will also be broadcasting baseball on Wednesday. Both teams taking on Prescott. You can catch both of those games right here on Verde Valley TV. I will be over on the softball field. Jackie Bessler will be here at the baseball field, and we are excited to see how the seasons end for both of those programs. The Marauders, as I mentioned, on Wednesday, getting a victory against Cactus, 8-4. Ryan Lindsay, 2 for 2 in that game with 1 RBI. Ryan Schamberger, 3 for 3. Great game for Sham. 2 RBIs, 1 double, and a triple for the junior first baseman. Jahia Rogers, who is back in the starting lineup for Coach Quesada, 1 for 2 with a walk in that win against Cactus. And Zach Harrison, 2 for 4 with an RBI, 1 double, and a triple. Trey Peters, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Jan Alvarez, as I mentioned, did get an opportunity to pitch in that win against Cactus. We'll see him a little bit later in this game tonight. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, none of them earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts for Jan Alvarez last Wednesday against the Cactus Cobras. As I mentioned, it will be Trey Peters on the mound for the Mingus Marauders, the senior pitcher for Mingus, looking to improve his stat line on the season. Trey's got a 5.59 ERA, 1 win, 5 losses on the season, and 1 shutout. So that's a nice little tally to add to the stat sheet here. Peters as well, 31 innings pitched so far, 47 hits allowed, 25 earned runs, and 28 strikeouts in Trey's last year. But Coach Quesada was telling me he's getting some looks at Yavapai College, so hopefully Trey will be able to take his talents to where Jace Taylor took his talents last year over to Yavapai College. I believe Tony Vaca also played at Yavapai College, and there's a few other Marauders who have found their way over to the Rough Riders as well in Prescott. So best of luck to Trey Peters if that's the route he ends up going. They're adding a phenomenal baseball player, and we'll get to see Trey on the mound tonight as the Marauders look for a victory against the Estrella Foothills High School Wolves, who are looking for their 3rd straight win. They're coming off back-to-back victories, 1 against Desert Edge and 1 against Prescott. Let's take a look at the 4A conference rankings Before we get this game started, the coaches and umpires changing lineups and talking shop before we get started. The Flagstaff Eagles, Coach Dobosh, 14-1 overall, sitting at 5 in the 4A conference. They are going to more than likely win the region this year. So Flagstaff sitting very pretty right now at number 5. They're looking to improve their seeding to possibly get a first-round playoff matchup, or actually play, I should say, a home game throughout the rest of the entire playoffs, depending on where they finish out. Bradshaw Mountain comes in at number 9, 13-4 for that squad. Lee Williams, 12th in the 4A conference, 10-5 overall. Coconino sitting at 16 in the 4A conference. Right now, Coconino is that final team in the playoffs if they started today. And I got to say, what is that, 4 teams of the 6 or 7, the 6 in our region representing the playoffs? That's great. That's awesome. So best of luck to Coconino. Hopefully they make it into the playoffs to give the 4A Grand Canyon a bit more representation. Prescott coming in at 18. They're still battling for that final 16th spot. In a good position, possibly. They got to get a couple wins. Losing to Estrella Foothills last week kind of hurt them a little bit. They're 7-9 and are sitting at 18 in the 4A conference. The Mingus Union Marauders come in at 31. They are 5-11 on the season, and the Mojave rounds it out. They are 5-11 as well. They come in 33rd in the conference rankings. And the Estrella Foothills Wolves, right in between Mingus and Mojave at number 32 in the 4A conference rankings. So still a lot to be decided when it comes to the playoff time. And speaking of playoffs, the Mingus Marauders softball team is in a phenomenal position right now to make the playoffs. They will have a playoff game on Saturday. It is looking like it is going to be at home. You can catch that game right here on Verde Valley TV at 10 a.m. That is going to be this Saturday, May 8th. It'll be Mingus Union taking on their first playoff opponent in softball. So we'll see who that is, and we'll get you that updated more as we get closer to it on Wednesday. So a lot of great baseball coming up here as the Marauders look for a victory against the Estrella Foothills Wolves. Let's take you around the diamond as both teams look to take the field. First and foremost, your home team, the Mingus Marauders. At third base, Ryan Lindsay getting the start for the Marauders. At shortstop, Jan Alvarez in his usual spot when he is not pitching. Ben Balo over at second base. Ryan Schamberger over at first. In the outfield, it'll be Carter Welly in left field getting the start. Anthony Rivera in center, welcoming him back to the lineup. And Jahia Rogers also finding himself back in the lineup, this time over in right field. We've seen Jahia in left. We've seen him in center. But tonight, Coach Casada going with Jahia in right field. Trey Peters on the bump for the Marauders, and Zach Harrison behind the plate for Mingus Union. As I mentioned, Trey Peters trying to improve that stat line. Did pitch in a loss against American Leadership Academy. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts for the senior pitcher in Trey Peters' final season here at Mingus Union High School. So for the Estrella Foothills Wolves, it'll be Demario Faison, Brock DiBattista, and Corbin Triplett, the 1-2-3 for the Wolves when they get an opportunity to bat. In just a couple minutes here, it is a little windy in Cottonwood, Arizona, a little warm as well, but the wind is definitely helping the temperatures here. So it seems as if we will continue the trend of winds in the Verde Valley whenever we have a baseball and softball game. So we'll see how that affects the teams, and we will get ready to go here. As I mentioned, Trey Peters on the bump for the Marauders, and Demario Faison will lead things off for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. It is baseball here on Verde Valley TV before the Marauders head on the road to take on the Prescott Badgers tomorrow. And then the baseball team and the softball team will be back at home on Wednesday in a 2-game set as both teams take on the Prescott Badgers. You can watch both those games right here on Verde Valley TV. Demario Faison strides in for the Estrella Foothills Wolves in the victory against Prescott. Faison 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a stolen base for the sophomore. So we'll see what Demario can do against Trey Peters as we get things going here at Patterson Field. Peters working out of the stretch. First pitch is on the way to Faison. That one will be fouled off, and we are underway. Quick 0-1 count here to Demario Faison. We'll see what Peters offers him here in his second offering. Faison batting .378 on the season, second in the team in batting average. The 0-1 on the way from Peters. The pitch. Off speed is in there for a strike, and the count will go quickly to 0-2. So Peters got Faison to foul off on the first pitch fastball, and then the off speed goes in for a strike. We'll see what he gives him on 0-2. Peters, the offering. Curveball swung on and missed. Faison's got to get himself out of the box. Throw on to first is in time for the first out of the inning. And now Brock DiBattista will stride in. One down for the Marauders here in the top of the first inning. Corbin Triplett, the pitcher, waiting on deck. And we'll see what DiBattista has in store for Trey Peters. Peters able to get a first batter strikeout to get things going, and we'll see what he can do here against the next batter in Brock DiBattista. Peters again working out of the stretch. First offering on the way to DiBattista. The pitch is high in the air. Rogers going to have to track it down in right field. We'll see if he can. I don't think he will. It'll fall. Rogers will have to track it all the way to the wall. DiBattista will round second. We'll see if he gets the third easily with a stand-up triple. One down and a man on third for the Wolves. DiBattista giving it a ride to right field. Sending Jahia Rogers all the way to the wall. And that'll make it a lot easier for Corbin Triplett to try to bring him around, with DiBattista now standing the only base runner for the Wolves right now in the first inning on third base. And we'll see what Corbin Triplett does. Of course, no damage done so far for Trey Peters as he gives Triplett his first offering. Pitch on the way is a curveball in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. Cooper Vanderhei waiting on deck, the right fielder for Estrella Foothills. 0-1 count, man on third with one down. The 0-1. The 0-1 is high, fastball didn't bite on it. The count will go to 1-1. On the season, Triplett is batting .349 on the season. 1-1 is in the dirt, blocked by Harrison. The count will go to 2-1. Two balls and one strike here with one down. Peters looking for out number two, the 2-1. That one's fouled off, help out his cause a little bit. Count to go to 2-2. There's a woman standing near the gate. That foul ball went right at her. But thankfully, the gate is right in front of her, so she was, in a weird way, standing in the best but worst spot, but she's okay. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here with one out. Peters looking for out number 2 with a man on third here in the top of the first inning. 0-0 our score. We'll see what Peters offers him on the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Curveball swung on and missed. Harrison's got to keep an eye on the runner at home. Here comes DiBattista. Got him at home. We'll see. How about the quick move from Zach Harrison? Trey Peters read that beautifully and was able to get the out at home. Nice tag by Peters as they get DiBattista out at the plate. We'll take another look at it. You can see DiBattista taken off on the drop third strike, and Peters able to get the tag down in time for the second out of the inning. And just like I mentioned, that's what no damage done. You got the runner out at home, and 2 down now for the Marauders. So Triplett will get on. He'll be on at first, and here comes Cooper Vanderhei. We'll see what Triplett does over at first. He's going to stay at first. Curveball in the dirt. Harrison keeps it in front of him. Throw down to second, and not in the glove of Alvarez. And Triplett will get on safely with a stolen base. And a 1-0 count to Vanderhei. So great job by Harrison to keep that one in front of him, but the throw not in the glove of Alvarez. He would have had him had that been a cleaner throw, but no issue here. The 1-0 on the way to Vanderhei is a ground ball picked up. Lindsey's got to keep it in front of him, looking for the final out of the inning. He won't get it. Vanderhei will get on with a single. So still 2 down for the Marauders. Our score is 0-0. Peters looking to get out of it. Only giving up a base hit so far, or 2 hits as Garrett Sloan comes in. Marauders still looking to get out of the inning, and he can get it at any base. We'll see if they can do it here. First offering on the way to Garrett Sloan with a runner on first and second with 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Off speed is in for a strike. Harrison got to keep it in front of him. He had the runner taken off at third, and Triplett will get there to third. So Triplett advancing on the pass ball. 0-1 count here to Garrett Sloan. Runners on the corners again. Still 2 outs. So ground ball to Alvarez could get the easy out at second, or ground ball to Lindsey could go either the short way to second or go over to first. And, I mean, there's a million ways you can get it out here, but in terms of some of the easier ones on the ground, we'll see what the Marauders do with first and third, and we'll see what Coach McCuppins does. You can see Triplett a little aggressive on the base paths. We'll see if he tries to move Vanderhei from first to second to take away that easy play to second and force the Marauders to throw across the field potentially. So an 0-1 count here to Sloan. Again, Peters just trying to get out of it with no damage done. 0-0 our score. The 0-1. Popped up in the air, but it will go foul. Count will go to 0-2. Now Peters in a good spot right here to get out of the inning. Only given up 2 hits so far. Runners on in the corners in third and first. 0-2 count to Sloan. 2 outs, 0-0 our score. We'll see what Peters offers him here on 0-2. See if he goes high fastball or if he goes with the curveball. The 0-2 on the way. Curveball, grounder. Lindsey hits the lip of the infield. Triplett will score. Sloan will go from first to second. Vanderhei will go to third. And now 1 run comes around for the Wolves. And runners on third and second. An unfortunate hop for Ryan Lindsey, who played that ball beautifully. But it just kisses the lip of the infield and goes right over to the third baseman's head. So Sloan does get on with a double. Vanderhei goes all the way to third. Triplett comes in to score. And now it is 1-0 Estrella Foothills with 2 outs for the Marauders. And Jacob Hitchcock will stride in. Hitchcock batting .341 on the season, the senior. We'll see what he gets in the first offering here from Peters. First pitch on the way is a fastball. It is fouled off, and the count will go to 0-1. So if Peters can get out of this with a 1-0 deficit, that puts Mingus in a really good position to tie and possibly get the lead in the bottom half of the first inning. The 0-1 on the way. That one is in the dirt. The count will go to 1-1. Good eye there by Hitchcock not to bite on the low off speed. 1 ball, 1 strike here. 2 outs, runners on third and second. The 1-1. Hits the outside corner in for a strike. Peters, fastball is working well for him. Now 1-2 count. Peters trying to get out of the inning here with runners on third and second. 2 outs. 1-2 count on the way to Jacob Hitchcock. Peters looking for out number 3. Off speed is in the dirt. Good block there by Harrison. And the count will now go even at 2s. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Hitchcock will try it again here with 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs for the Marauders. Runners on third and second. Hitchcock awaiting the 2-2. Pitch on the way. And Peters will step off. So I mentioned this before. You can see Peters when he strides towards the plate. He'll shorten that stride up and go more to a side step towards the plate. We'll see. He'll probably go with the full windup this time, yeah, because there's runner on second and third as that one goes in the dirt. Count will go full. Runner's going to take off and score. Vanderhei will score easily from third. And Sloan will go to third, and now a 2-0 lead as the count is full for the Estrella Foothills Wolves, and Jacob Hitchcock with an opportunity to extend this inning as the Wolves lead 2-0. When the Marauders do get a chance to bat, it will be Ben Balo, Jan Alvarez, and Trey Peters, the 1-2-3 for Mingus, as they look to play from behind. The 3-2 on the way to Hitchcock to get out of the inning. In the air, we'll see if Rogers can track it down in foul territory. No one's taken that one. It'll go foul, and the count will remain full. But as I mentioned, and we'll talk about it a little bit later when Peters has got runners that aren't in scoring position. You'll notice he'll shorten up that stride to home in more of a side step to shorten the distance he has to go in his mechanics to home to somebody wants to take off from first to second, makes it easier for Zach Harrison. But anyway, 3-2 count on the way here with 2 outs. The pitch, off speed in the dirt, it'll be a walk. So we should see it right here as that ball goes out of Peters' gloves, but the runners will stay at second and first respectively. And here comes Angel Panaloza Leyva. Panaloza Leyva. I apologize if I messed that up. So we'll see what Leyva can do here with a runner on third and first. First one on the way. Runner's going to take off. Popped up in the air. To get out of the inning, Baylor will track it down and make the catch. And Marauders get out of it, but not before the Wolves bring around 2 on a couple base hits. It's the Marauders' time here in the bottom of the first inning. Stay with us on Verde Valley TV.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
We pick things up here in the bottom of the first inning. The Mingus Marauders currently trailing the Estrella Foothills Wolves 2-0. I want to welcome you back here to the broadcast at Patterson Field on the campus of Mingus Union High School. I am Philip Catafamo. Happy to have you along with me here on Monday night. Marauders looking for a victory before they take on the 4A Grand Canyon region opponent, the Prescott Badgers. They'll take them on tomorrow on the road and then be back at home on Wednesday. You can watch that game at home on Wednesday on Verde Valley TV. As well as the softball game. We'll have both broadcasts for you right here on VVTV. Ben Balo will stride in. He'll face Connor Triplett. Triplett on the season. 6 2/3 innings pitched so far, 5 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and 6 walks for the senior pitcher. We'll see what he offers Ben Balo in his first at-bat tonight. First one on the way is low, and for a ball, the count will go to 1-0. So 1-0 count here to Ben Balo. He'll be looking to be the first base runner for the Marauders here. The 1-0 is in for a strike, and now the count will go to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Ben Balo. Triplett's 1-1 offering on the way. Balo watches that one in the dirt, and the count will go to 2-1. Jan Alvarez waiting on deck, goes and retrieves the baseball. A good inning, first half of the inning for the Estrella Foothills Wolves, and now Triplett looking for the first out here on the defensive side, the 2-2. Swung on and missed. First out of the game for the Wolves is a strikeout, 1 down, and here comes Jan Alvarez. Alvarez on the season batting .340, 17 hits, 14 RBIs, 5 doubles, and 1 triple for the junior. We'll see Jan a little bit in relief tonight as he gets some work, as does Trey Peters, who is on the mound currently for the Marauders. So Alvarez waiting the first offering here from Corbin Triplett with 1 out. The pitch. Watched low and in for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. A 1 count here. Alvarez awaiting the second offering from Triplett. The pitch. Off speed. Into center field, it'll fall for a 1-out base hit for Jan Alvarez. And the Marauders have their first base runner of the evening. And now Trey Peters will look to bring in Jan Alvarez. Peters in the victory against Cactus went 2 for 4 with an RBI on the season, though. Peters is leading the team, is third, I should say, in the team in batting average. Batting .320 in 58 plate appearances, 14 RBIs, 16 hits, and 4 doubles for the senior. And we'll see what Peters can do here with the man on first. We'll see what Jan Alvarez does over at first base, see if he adds a little pressure to Corbin Triplett with 1 out. Alvarez takes a decent lead over at first. First pitch on the way to Peters. Alvarez will stay at first. He gets past the catcher. Alvarez will stay at second base. He advances on the overthrow. And now the Marauders have a runner in scoring position. And a 1-0 count here to Trey Peters as he watched that fastball go high and away. So 1-0 count here with the runner on second. Pitch on the way to Trey Peters. Peters watches that one in for a ball. Not a bad spot to miss there from Triplett, but the count will go to 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes here to Trey Peters with a man on second, the 2-0. Peters watches that one in for a strike, and the count will go to 2-1. You know, we've noticed a lot throughout this season and even up at the pro level, a lot of umpires favoring that outside corner. We have seen it a lot in high school softball and baseball. The 2-1 here as Peters watches that one high and in. The count will go to 3-1. And our home plate umpire here tonight also favoring that outside pitch. So Mingus is going to have to definitely protect on anything on the outside corner. The 3-1 on the way from Triplett. Peters lines that one to shortstop. It'll get under the glove of DiBattista. Alvarez will round third and come in to score. The Marauders cut the deficit in half. Our score is now 2-1. Nice piece of hitting there from Trey Peters. So Peters picks up the RBI, gets the Marauders on the scoreboard, helps his own cause, and it's 2-1. We'll get a courtesy runner for Trey Peters. It'll be Jonathan Sanchez, fellow senior. So Sanchez will come in as the courtesy runner for the pitcher. Trey Peters' focus will now go to the mound when he picks up the baseball in the top of the second inning. Zach Harrison will stride in. Harrison had himself a nice game as well against Cactus, going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a double and a triple in that game. And we'll see what he can do here against Corbin Triplett with the runner on first and only 1 out. First pitch on the way to Harrison. Off speed, outside corner, will not get the call. The count will go to 1-0. One ball, no strikes here to Zach Harrison. Jonathan Sanchez, the courtesy runner for Trey Peters. Peters reaching with an RBI single. 1-0 on the way here to Harrison. Watches that one low, and the count will go to 2-0. Good eye there from Harrison. Harrison also batting well on the season, batting .278. Has a couple homers, including one against American Legion Academy, Queen Creek, as he watches that third pitch in the dirt. A 3-0 count here to Harrison. We'll see if he's got the green light on 3-0. I highly doubt it. Mingus would love runners on second and first. We'll see what he offers him. The 3-0 on the way. Harrison does watch that one in for a strike, and now the count will go to 3-1. So Jonathan Sanchez over at first base, the courtesy runner for Trey Peters. 1 out, and we'll call time. We'll reset here again. 3-1 count here to Zach Harrison with a runner on first. Only 1 out for the Wolves, the 3-1. That one is in the dirt. It'll be a walk. Harrison will go to first. Sanchez will go to second, and Ryan Schamberger will stride in. Sham had a great game against Cactus, going 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs, a double and a triple for the junior first baseman. Ryan's batting .275 on the season, 14 hits, 10 RBIs, 4 doubles, and 4 triples in his junior year. And we'll see what he can do here with runners on second and first. Big opportunity for the junior to tie things up here early on. First one on the way. Sham pops that one up. Coming in to track it down is Faison. Sanchez will retreat to second base, so will Zach Harrison to first, respectively. And it'll be 2 outs. And now Ryan Lindsay will stride in. Something deep enough in the gap will definitely score Jonathan Sanchez. And probably Zach Harrison, both with a lot of speed. We'll see if Ryan Lindsay, who also had a great game against Cactus, going 2 for 2 with an RBI. We'll see what he can pick up 2 here with 2 outs. First one on the way to Lindsay is in for a strike. And the count will go to 0-1. Two outs here for Corbin Triplett. Looking to keep the damage minimum. 2-1 score. Pitch on the way, runs inside. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. So Lindsay will get on with a hit by pitch. And the bases are loaded for Jahia Rogers. Rogers leading the team in batting average this season. Granted on 38 plate appearances, but still very productive, batting .467 with 14 hits and 6 RBIs. Handling duties in right field today. First pitch on the way to Rogers, runs inside, and the count will go to 1-0. So Mingus now with the bases loaded and an opportunity to tie things up and anything deep enough, maybe get the lead. It'll be their first lead tonight. The 1-0 on the way to Rogers. Big lead over at first. Throw down to first is not in time. Lindsey's got to be careful. Lindsey almost all the way to second base. Barely, really got bailed out by the bad throw, but regardless, 2-0 count here to Rogers. Pitch on the way is high, and the count will go to 3-0. So Mingus could potentially be setting themselves up with a free run if Triplett walks Jahia Rogers. 3 balls, no strikes here with 2 outs. Rogers going to have to lay off anything close that might be tempting. The 3-0 is low. It'll be in there for a strike. Late call from the home plate umpire. 3-1 count. So now Rogers going to have to protect here on 3-1. Anything close, going to want to take a hack at it. 2 outs with the bases loaded. The 3-1 on the way to Jahia Rogers is in for a strike. Back-to-back strikes for Corbin Triplett, and now he has set himself up with an opportunity to leave the bases stranded and keep that lead intact going into the top of the second inning. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Jahia Rogers with 2 outs and bases loaded. The 3-2 on the way. Runners will take off. Rogers swung on and missed. Triplett gets out of the high leverage situation, leaves the bases stranded. Our score remains 2-1. We'll head to the top of the second inning. Stay with us here on Verde Valley TV.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
It'll be Dylan Moyer and then Tyler Naramore, and then the top of the order in Demario Faison for the Estrella Foothills Wolves here in the top of the second inning. Philip Katafmo, happy to have you along with me here on Verde Valley TV. Our score 2-1 as the Marauders were able to cut the deficit. They were down 2-0 going into the bottom of the first inning, and that gentleman on the mound, Trey Peters, able to bring around a run and cut the deficit 2-1. We'll see what Moyer gets here. First offering is in the dirt. The count will go to 1-0. Mingus leaving the bases stranded in the bottom of the first inning. And now they look to keep the bottom half of the order of the Estrella Foothills Wolves quiet and then try to get the lead in the bottom of the second inning. As that one goes away, the count will go to 2-0. Moyer looking to be the first base runner here for the Wolves. Awaits the 2-0, pitch on the way. Ground ball will get right past the diving Ben Balo. And Moyer will get on with a leadoff single. So double play is still on for the Marauders here, and Tyler Naramore will stride in. Nice piece of hitting there from Moyer, able to get it to the opposite side of the field. Right past Ben Balo. Naramore on the season batting .250 in 8 plate appearances, with 2 hits and 1 double. And we'll see what he can do here. The DH with a runner on first. First pitch on the way is going to be a bunt. Peters is going to field it off the mound. Throw on to first is in time for the first out. And a good throw there from Trey Peters to get Naramore out. And to bring up the top of the order, and Demario Faison As we take another look at the bunt there. Nice bunt from Naramore. Does his job, gets the runner over to second, and then Peters with an easy does-it throw to first for the first out of the inning. Faison struck out in the first. We'll see what he can do here in the second. Runner on second base with one out. And we'll see what Peters' first offering is. Off speed is in the dirt, does get past Harrison, so now Moyer is going to go to third. And the throw down is not in time as Moyer slides under the tag. And Faison will work with a 1-0 count. As we take a look at it, you can see Moyer had a good jump, just barely got under the tag there. As Ryan Lindsay almost had him at third base, but Moyer is safe. So now again, runner in scoring position with one out. Very similar to what we saw in the first inning. First pitch on the way to Faison is popped up in the air. We'll see if that tags the runner from third. Rogers going to have to fight the sun. Does make the catch. Throw to home's going to be close. It's going to take a hop, and Moyer will score. So Mingus does get the out, but they cannot score the run. They think that he didn't tag, so they're going to throw over to third and step on the base just in case, and they're going to say he's safe. So I will say my attention was over in right field. I'm not sure if Moyer did leave early or not. He was called safe regardless, so 2 outs for Mingus. As we take a look at it, I have to see where the catch was. As you do have the replay there on the screen, but have to see where that was in terms of when Jahia Rogers made that catch and when Moyer made that first step to home. So for now, he's safe, and that'll be another run. Our score goes to 3-1. First pitch on the way is in for a strike to Brock DiBattista, who got on with a triple and was out advancing to home on a great play from Mingus, able to get the out at home to save a run. 0-1 count here to DiBattista with 2 outs and no one on. So Peters allowing 2 runs in the first, 1 so far here in the second. Fastball goes high, the count will go to 1-1. It works like clockwork. Every time I accidentally mark a ball when it was a strike, it always fixes itself on my score sheet. So now a 1-1 count here, 1 ball, 1 strike. No one on with 2 outs. DiBattista trying to extend the inning for the Wolves. The 1-1 is in the air. Rivera trying to track it down. It will fall in between left and center. And DiBattista will get on with another base hit. It'll be a single this time. And Corbin Triplett, the pitcher, will look to help his cause out. Triplett did get on in the first inning and did come around to score. Had 2 stolen bases to add to his score sheet this evening. Runner on first base here with 2 outs. Peters will take a look at the runner at first. Big lead over at first for DiBattista. First pitch on the way to Triplett is a ground ball. Balo trying to get the out. Got to stay with it. Throw on to first in time for the final out of the inning. Marauders do surrender 1 on 2 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning where Mingus looks to get the lead or tie things up. Stay with us.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass. Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room in Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience, with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a third-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
Carter Welly will look to get things going for the Marauders in the bottom of the second inning. Philip Katafmo, happy to have you along with me here on Verde Valley TV. Marauders gave up another run in the top of the second inning, but will look to tack on 2 and tie things up and get the lead here in the bottom of the second inning. We'll see what Carter Welly can do. He leads things off. Anthony Rivera waiting on deck. Corbin Triplett on the mound still for the Wolves. First pitch on the way to Welly is in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-0. Triplett only allowing 2 hits and a walk. Did have 2 strikeouts and gave up a run and left the bases stranded in the bottom of the second inning here. 1-0 on the way to Carter Welly, and I should say that was in the bottom of the first inning. High leverage situation for Corbin Triplett, and he handled it beautifully, getting out of that inning with bases loaded in the bottom of the first. Welly watches that third offering in for a strike. The count will go to 2-1. Welly, of course, leading off the inning here in the bottom of the second inning. 2 balls, 1 strike here. Triplett working quickly, the 2-1. In the dirt, the count will go to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike here to Carter Welly. Welly waiting the 3-1 offering. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. The count will go full 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Welly waiting the 3-2. Pitch on the way. Runs inside. Got him looking for another strikeout. Out number 1 for the Wolves, and Anthony Rivera will look to be the first base runner for the Marauders here in the bottom of the second inning. So Rivera looking for a base hit. Center fielder for the Marauders tonight. First one on the way. Chopper to third. Picked up by Sloan. Throw on to first is in time for the second out of the inning. A high chopper read beautifully by the third baseman, and he gets Anthony Rivera out at first. And now the top of the order in Ben Balo will look to do things for the Marauders with 2 quick outs. Balo struck out in the first inning on a 2-2 count to lead off the bottom of the first. And we'll see what he can do here in the bottom of the second inning with 2 outs. First one on the way. Balo watches that one in the dirt. Count will go to 1-0. You can see Triplett works pretty quickly, getting back to the mound and getting set. He's already ready to go. And he does that on the 1-0. Pitch on the way to Balo is in the dirt. Doing that to sort of kill the rhythm of the batter. A lot of batters do like to take their time before getting back into the box. Triplett just working quickly back, getting it going. The 2-0 runs inside, does not hit Balo. The count will go to 3-0. Kind of mess up the rhythm of a batter, especially somebody who likes to take a couple hacks before they stride back in. Balo, of course, another guy who works pretty quickly. Gets the sign and goes right back to the plate. 3-0 on the way. Balo watches that one in for a strike, and the count will go to 3-1. I got to say, Triplett's doing a great job of working himself back in counts. Did that with Carter Welly, found himself behind, worked him back, got that as a strikeout. Of course, he did get Rivera to ground out on the first pitch, and Balo here, we'll see how he works with 3-1. That pitch on the way is fouled off, and yeah, he's working back quite well. Did the same thing with Jahia Rogers. Zach Harrison, of course, Harrison did get on with a walk, but Triplett has been working himself from behind in the counts. And we'll see what he can do here on 3-2. Slow chopper. See if it stays fair. It will go foul. So the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ben Balo. You see a couple pitchers sometimes take a little bit too long to get set and ready to go. One of the names that comes to mind is Pedro Baez, former Dodger reliever, or Johnny Cueto, former starting pitcher for the Reds. Guy just really takes their time getting back and pitching, but Triplett, complete opposite. Works quickly. The 3-2. Balo with a high chopper. Sloan picks it up. Throw on to first is in time. A 1-2-3 inning for the Wolves. We will head to the top of the third. The Marauders still down 3-1. They look to keep the bats quiet and get the offense going in the bottom half. We'll head to the top of the third. Stay with us.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
Cooper Vanderhei will stride in for the Estrella Foothills Wolves as we pick things up here in the top of the third inning. Our score, Wolves 3, Mingus Marauders 1. Philip Katafmo, happy to have you along with me here. Trey Peters still working on the mound from the Marauders. Did give up 1 run on 2 hits last inning. We'll see if Trey can get a 1-2-3 inning, as we saw with Corbin Triplett, was able to accomplish that in the bottom half of the second inning, keeping the Marauder bats quiet. And Peters will look to do that for Mingus against the Wolves. First pitch on the way to Vanderhei, who got on with a single and did come around to score in the first inning. He watches that first pitch away, and Peters will start off with a 1-0 count. It'll be Vanderhei, Sloan, and Hitchcock as Peters looks for his first 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the third. The 1-0 on the way. Vanderhei hits that one into center field. Rivera's going to have to track it down. It will fall in between center and right, and it'll be a leadoff single for Cooper Vanderhei, very similar to his first at-bat, getting singles on a 1-0 count. And here comes Garrett Sloan. Sloan got on with a double, was able to score Vanderhei, and Sloan was stranded at third on his RBI double, and now with a runner on first, Mingus will look for a double play here to keep the inning nice and short. Peters takes a look at the runner at first base. First offering on the way. Sloan shows bunt, pulls it back, pops that one into center field and does his job. Vanderhei will go to second, and Sloan will get on with another single. So Sloan doing a good job pulling back and driving that one to center. Runners on second and first with no outs. And here's Jacob Hitchcock. Hitchcock got on with a walk and was stranded at first in the top of the first inning. And we'll see what he can do here with runners on second and first. First one on the way here. Trying to drop bunt. Does pull it back. The count will go to 1-0. Harrison keeps that one in front. Vanderhei over at second, and Sloan over at first. Hitchcock awaiting the 1-0 here with no outs. Trying to show bunt. He did go that time, and the count will go to 1-1. One ball, one strike here. Sloan gets Hitchcock gets the sign from Coach McCubbins down at third base. Peters looking for the first out of the inning. 1-1 on the way. Going to show bunt again. Gets it down this time. Advances the runner to third and second. We'll see if there's a play at first. There is not. Bases are loaded. So Hitchcock gets on, and the bases are loaded for Angel Penaloza Leyva. And we'll see what Leyva can do. Popped up to end the first inning. And it is a big spot here with runners on each base and nobody out. First one on the way here from Peters. That one is high, and the count will go to 1-0 on Penaloza Leyva. 1-0 count here. That one is sawed off, foul. Count will go to 1-1. You can see the whole Marauder, the entire Marauder infield playing up. Of course, anything to really any Marauder infielder is going to have to directly go to home. Try to make the easy play at home. And if you're lucky, maybe you can step on your base before making that throw home. So we'll see what happens here. A lot of speed on the base paths. 1-1 on the way. That one runs inside, and the count will go to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to Penaloza Leyva. Runners on every base. The 2-1. That one's fouled off, and the count will go to 2-2. Of course, I'm sure Peters would love to get Penaloza Leyva to strike out here and then present that double play opportunity to his infield. We'll see what he offers him on 2-2. The pitch. Chopper, or excuse me, off speed is foul. Count will remain 2-2. (3-1) our score. Wolves with an opportunity to extend their lead even more. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. And Peters will step off. And we'll try it again here on 2-2. The pitch. Off speed. Got him with a strike. And 1 down for the Marauders. That is Peters' 3rd strikeout of the evening. As Quesada, I believe Trey may have reached his pitch limit, and they are going to switch. We're going to see Jan Alvarez come in a very high-pressure situation with runners on every base and only 1 out. So more than likely, Ryan Lindsay will go to short. Trey will go over to third, and Jan Alvarez will warm up. We'll let Jan Alvarez warm up, and we'll pick things back up on the other side of this break. Bases are loaded, 1 out for the Marauders, and Jan Alvarez will come in relief.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle, get Gettles, and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon, attorneys at law. Trust well placed.
Well, maybe a little earlier than Coach Quesada would like, but this was the game plan to let Trey Peters go until the limit, and then Jan Alvarez will come in relief. And we'll see what Jan Alvarez can do with bases loaded and only 1 out for the Mingus Marauders as we pick things up here in the top of the 3rd inning. Dylan Moyer, who got a single in the 2nd inning, will stride in, looking to bring around a couple here. He'll face Jan Alvarez for the first time today. Alvarez's first pitch is slicing, and it will go foul, so the count will go to 0-1. Yeah, Coach Quesada telling me before the game that the game plan was to give Peters a little bit of work, give Jan Alvarez a little bit of work, and get them both ready for the upcoming series against Prescott. This is, of course, a non-conference game, as Estrella Foothills comes to us from the 4A Southwest region. The 0-1 on the way is swung on a miss. Nice off-speed pitch from Jan Alvarez. The count will go to 0-2. And with the bases loaded, you can tell that Alvarez's focus is and has to be the gentleman at the plate. He's working out of the full windup here, and we'll see what he offers him on the 0-2. Slow chopper. Mingus looking for a double play. Lindsay keeps it in front of him. Play is only at first. Throw to first is not in time. Gets past Schamberger. 2 runs will come in, and Estrella Foothills able to extend their lead. So Moyer getting on, scores Vanderhei, and then the overthrow brings in Sloan. And Hitchcock goes from first to third. Dylan Moyer, is on first. Still 1 out for the Marauders. And now our score 5-1. And now it'll be Connor Scrimmager. That one is in for a strike. So Scrimmager awaiting the 0-1 here. Pitch on the way from Alvarez. Another nice off-speed pitch there from Jan. Looking for the 2nd out of the inning. The 0-2, off speed. Gets Scrimmager to foul off, and the count will go to 0-2. So now an 0-2 count here to Cannon Scrimmager with runners on the corners. The 0-2. Check swing, got him. That'll be the second out of the inning, and it'll bring up the top of the order. And DeMario Faison. Faison struck out in the first, popped up in the second. We'll see what he can do here in the third. Again, runners on the corners with 2 outs. Of course, those 2 runs will be charged to Trey Peters as Alvarez coming in relief. Runners on third and first here. Faison awaiting the first offering from Jan Alvarez. The pitch on the way is in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-0. Faison laying off that curveball. So 1-0 count. Moyer's going to take off to second. Throw down to second. They get him in time. 1 hop. Lindsay unable to corral it. And coming in and scoring is Hitchcock. And Moyer will get on with a stolen base over to second. And a 1-1 count here to Faison. So now Faison working with a 1-1 count. Runner on second, and the score is now 6-1. Alvarez, the 1-1 offering on the way. Slow chopper back to the pitcher. That should do it and get the Marauders out of the inning, but not before the Wolves could tack on 3 hits. Mingus has a bit of catching up to do as our score is 1-6 heading into the bottom of the third inning. Stay with us.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
It was a 1-2-3 inning for Corbin Triplett in the bottom of the second inning. And his offense able to tack on a few more and extend the Wolves' lead 6-1 in the bottom of the third inning. Jan Alvarez will lead things off. Alvarez got on with a single and came around to score in the first inning on the RBI single from Trey Peters in the first inning. And we'll see what Jan can do here in the third. Mingus down 5 in the third inning. And Alvarez's second plate appearance here against Triplett. First pitch on the way. That was in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-0. Alvarez waiting the second offering here. The 1-0. In the dirt, in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here as Jan Alvarez leads things off in the bottom of the third inning. The 1-1. That one is in the dirt, and the count will go to 2-1. As I mentioned, Alvarez getting on with a single in the first inning, came around to score off the RBI single from Trey Peters. He awaits the 2-1, pitch on the way. That one's in the dirt, and the count will go to 3-1. So Alvarez looking to get on with possibly a leadoff walk or a base hit if anything's close on 3-1. Trey Peters waiting on deck. 3-1 on the way here. Alvarez will get on with a leadoff walk. And he'll bring up Trey Peters, who has a single so far. Coach McCubbins will come talk to Corbin Triplett, and we'll see if his night is done. Triplett is still got the baseball in his hand, and that's it. So great outing from Corbin Triplett. 3 strikeouts, 1 run on just a handful of hits and 2 walks. So he's done, and we will get a new pitcher. And that will be number 5. So the new pitcher for the Estrella Foothills Wolves is number 5. That is Carter Anderson. Anderson coming in relief of Triplett. As I mentioned, Triplett pitching pretty well in a short outing. Had a 1-2-3 inning last inning, and then got the leadoff, gave up the leadoff walk to John Alvarez here in the 3rd. But Anderson coming into this game, looking to change his statistics as well. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and a 7.88 ERA with 1 win on the season in 4 appearances on the season. He has started in only 1 game for Coach McCubbins and the Estrella Foothills Wolves. So we'll see what the new pitcher can do as Trey Peters strides in. Jan Alvarez over at first base. Peters, a base hit so far, got an RBI, did bring in Jan Alvarez in the top of the first inning to cut, or excuse me, in the bottom of the first inning to cut what was a 2-0 lead to 2-1. And now, of course, Estrella Foothills since then has tacked on a few more runs, 4 to be exact. And they have a 6-1 lead. So Anderson warming up. We'll see what Trey Peters can do. So both teams making the switch. But as I mentioned, a good outing for Triplett. 3 strikeouts, 2 base hits, 2 walks. Got out of a bases loaded jam in the first inning, getting Jahia Rogers to strike out. Does also have a hit a hit batter. So we'll see what Anderson can do here. I believe Sloan is now in left field. We'll get you some defensive substitutions here a little bit later. Trey Peters striding in here looking for another base hit and another RBI. Was able to do it with Alvarez on first base in the first. First one on the way from Anderson is in for a strike. Oh, 1 count here. Peters got a pitch on the outside corner. We'll see what he gets here on 0-1. Peters gets it off the end of the bat. Ground ball to the shortstop. Flip on to second. Throw on to first. A quick double play for Carter Anderson. And 2 down for the Wolves. So 2 down, a quick 2 outs for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. And Mingus with Zach Harrison up at the plate looking to extend the inning with 2 outs. Harrison got on with a walk and was stranded at second. And we'll see what he can do here against the new pitcher. First one on the way to Harrison is high, and the count will go to 1-0. The 1-0 offering here to Zach Harrison. Harrison into right field. That one's going to fall, and it's going to be trouble. Harrison will round first, and he's unhooked the trailer coming around second. Harrison thinking 3, slows down a little bit around second. We'll see if he stays, and he will. It'll be a 2-out triple for Zach Harrison, and the Marauders have their second base runner this inning. And Ryan Schamberger will stride in. They're going to call him out. They're going to say he didn't step. Did he not step on second? They're going to say he never touched second, so Harrison, instead of a triple, is now an out, and that'll end it. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for the Wolves. Our score is 6-1. We'll try to figure this out, but for now, we'll head to the top of the 4th.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Will come up on the replay here of Zach Harrison's hit as he rounded first base. The question is, did Zach hit second? And you're going to have to keep a close eye here. Not the best angle there on that one, but that's what the call was, is that Zach Harrison did not step on second base. So he was out at second, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Wolves as we pick things up here in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Brock DiBattista leading things off. DiBattista got on with a triple in the first and a single in the second. And we'll see what he can do here in the 4th inning. First one on the way is high, and the count will go to 1-0. But yeah, Harrison looked like he had a 2-out triple, a beautiful hit down right field line. Or first base line, but whatever. Harrison is unfortunately out, so that one's going to be right past third and short. DiBattista will get on with a single. We'll see if he makes it more. He will stay on first. And now Corbin Triplett will stride in. Triplett, who has now moved to third base, will look for his first base hit of the evening. Reach safely on first, reach safely in the first, and then grounded out in the second with a runner on first and no outs. We'll see what he can do here against Jan Alvarez. First pitch on the way. DiBattista is going to take off, but he's going to have to come all the way back to first base as Triplett fouls that one off. Triplett awaiting the 0-1 offering here from Jan Alvarez. Pickoff move to first is almost away from Ryan Schamberger, but a great grab by the first baseman. But DiBattista is safe at first. Alvarez again taking a look at the runner at first. The 0-1 on the way is in the dirt. Harrison keeps a hold of it. Throw down to first base. They get him in time. They did not. Count will go to 1-1. So Harrison keeping an eye on DiBattista. Takes a long stride from first, a long leadoff. And Harrison trying to get him out, but DiBattista is safe. Count is 1-1 here to Triplett. The 1-1. Going to be a slow chopper. Lindsay fields it at short. Throw on to first is in time for the first out of the inning. And now Cooper Vanderhei will stride in. Vanderhei got on with a single, came around to score in the first, and got on with a single and came around to score in the third. And he'll look to keep his luck going, this time against Jan Alvarez, as both those base hits came off Trey Peters. First one on the way is high and inside, and the count will go to 1-0. One-0 pitch on the way is on the outside corner and in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Vanderhei with a runner on second and only 1 out. The 1-1. Vanderhei fouls that one off, and the count will go to 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes here. Alvarez looking for out number 2. The 1-2. Popped up. We'll see if Harrison or Schamberger tracks it down. Schamberger will call everybody off and make the catch for the second out of the inning. And Garrett Sloan will stride in. Sloan got a double in the first, but was stranded at third. and then got a single in the third and came around to score. And we'll see what Garrett Sloan can do here in his third plate appearance with a runner on second and 2 outs. Alvarez, so far, the only blemish this inning is that leadoff single to Brock DiBattista. Alvarez's first offering is on the way. In the dirt, kept in front by Harrison. Throw to third, may have him in time, they don't. So DiBattista goes from first to second and now makes it all the way to third, making it a little bit easier for Garrett Sloan on a 1-0 count to bring him in to extend the lead. The 1-0 on the way to Sloan. The pitch. That one's high and away, and the count will go to 2-0. Count here on the way. The pitch from Alvarez is fouled off, and the count will go to 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike to Garrett Sloan with Jacob Hitchcock waiting on deck. 2 outs for the Marauders, looking for out number 3. DiBattista at third, the 2-1. Off speed, nice pitch from Jan Alvarez. Hits the corner and gets the call. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the confidence booster right here for Jan Alvarez if he can get Sloan swinging. Gave up the leadoff hit, was able to work his way back. Let's see if he can get him out. The 2-2. That one's in the dirt. Does get past Harrison. DiBattista is going to stay at third. So the count will go to 3-2. So a full count here as Alvarez looks for the final out of the inning. And the Marauders will have to continue to play catch-up here. But keeping runs off the board will help. Alvarez looking to get out of the inning here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff pitch on the way, and it's fouled. So Sloan will stay alive as he continues to foul off anything close from Jan Alvarez. We'll see what Alvarez goes with on 3-2. Could go back to that off speed. Had a couple guys out in front on it, but we'll see what he gives him here. The 3-2 on the way. The pitch. Off speed does go with that one, and it goes foul. And the count will remain 3-2. There it was. Was able to get Sloan to bite, but Garrett Sloan did foul that one off. So we'll try it again here on 3-2. The payoff pitch, looking for out number 3. Off speed again, high chopper. Peters can't track it down. DiBattista will score, and Sloan will get on with a single. It'll be an RBI single for Garrett Sloan, and we'll bring up Jacob Hitchcock, who got a walk in the first and was stranded at first, and then got on with a single in the third and came around to score. That'll extend the Wolves' lead 7-1. First one on the way to Hitchcock. Chopper, Peters, under the glove, and we'll have runners on second and first. So Sloan goes to second. Hitchcock gets on with a single. And with 2 outs, the inning will keep going as we'll get Carter Anderson up at the plate. His first plate appearance here tonight. First one on the way. Anderson pops that one straight up. Marauders trying to get out of the inning. Schamberger's got to catch it, and he will. So the Marauders surrender 1 on 2 hits. Our score 7-1 as we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass, Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room in Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience, with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a third-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
Ryan Schamberger will try it again here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Schamberger was the man at the plate when the Marauders went down on a very confusing play at second base. Zach Harrison had a nice shot down the first base line, which was looking like a triple, and unfortunately Harrison did not step on second base, so he was out, and Schamberger was at the plate. So Ryan will pick things up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Mingus Marauders currently trailing the Estrella Foothills Wolves 7-1. And Sham popped up in the first inning. We'll see what he can do here in the fourth. Carter Anderson still on the mound for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. First offering on the way is in for a strike. So now an 0-1 count here to Schamberger. The 0-1 offering. Into left. Sloan makes the catch for the first out of the inning, but nice piece of hitting there from Schamberger. It was just right spot at the right time for the left fielder. So Sham's all smiles as he heads back to the dugout. Probably a little bit of disappointment in that smile, but nice piece of hitting there from Ryan. Nice hard hit liner to the left fielder as Ryan Lindsay will step in. Lindsay watches the first pitch in for a strike. Lindsay got on with he got hit by a pitch and got on first. The 0-1. Runs high, and the count will go to 1-1. One ball, one strike here to Lindsay. With one out, looking to be the first base runner for the Marauders. The 1-1. Off the hands to center field. Coming over to make the catch is Faison. Back-to-back flyouts for the Marauders. And now Jahia Rogers will stride in. Struck out with the bases loaded in the first inning. Here is his second plate appearance. He'll look to extend the inning for the Marauders with 2 outs. Jahia looking for something to drive off Carter Anderson with 2 outs. And Anderson in relief has been solid so far. First one on the way. Rogers is going to show bunt, gets it down. It will not hug the third base line. It will go foul. And the count will go to 0-1. So an 0-1 count here to Jahia Rogers. Pitch on the way. Rogers swings and gets that one off the end of his bat. It will go foul, and the count will go to 0-2. So Anderson in a good spot. This would be 3 straight 1-2-3 innings for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. 1 by Triplett, the previous pitcher, and 2 by Anderson, if he can get Jahia Rogers out here on 0-2. Of course, Rogers would love to extend the inning for the Marauders and try to cut into the deficit a little bit as we get closer and closer to the 7th inning. The 0-2 on the way. Rogers fouls that one off to stay alive. Jahia trying to protect on anything close. He liked that off speed in the dirt and was able to get a piece of it. We'll see what Anderson goes back to him. Triplett was able to get Jahia swinging on a fastball. We'll see if Anderson goes with the high heat here on 0-2. Pitch on the way. Ground ball to second. Throw on to first. 3 straight 1-2-3 innings for the Wolves. The Marauders still down 7-1. We'll try to get it cut down in the top of the 5th. Stay with us.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
Ryan Schamberger on the mound for the Mingus Marauders. He comes in relief of Jan Alvarez. Schamberger on the season so far, trying to lower that ERA, currently over 16 with 1 win and 1 loss on the season in 4 appearances, mostly in relief. 5 2/3 innings pitched so far this season, 12 hits, 13 earned runs, 12 walks, and 5 strikeouts for the junior first baseman. He is now on the mound for the Mingus Marauders. Trey Peters goes over to first base. Ryan Lindsay goes to third, and Jan Alvarez will go to short. As we get those substitutions done, I believe there is a pinch hitter. And there is. It'll be, excuse me while I go and refer to the roster here for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. It's Christian Uranga. He'll come in relief of Dylan Moyer. Or at least for right now, he will be the batter. So Uranga will face, for the first time, Ryan Schamberger. And we'll see what Sham can do here as he looks to keep the bats quiet. So far, Estrella Foothills has scored a run in each inning, as Schamberger gets the fastball on the outside. And Connor Scrimmager will wait on deck. The 0-1. Swung on a miss. The count will go to 0-2. So a quick 0-2 count here. Schamberger looking for the first out of the inning. Can he get it? The 0-2. Fouled off. So Uranga will stay alive, fouling that one off. Schamberger's offering on 0-2 is low and in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-2. And what a good confidence booster for Ryan Schamberger if he can get the first batter out. It has been a tough task for the Marauders so far. That one is in the dirt, and the count will go to 2-2. You got the first batter in the first inning, and then it was a leadoff single in the second, and then a leadoff single in the third, and as well for the fourth. So Schamberger trying to change the Marauder luck here. 2-2. Popped up. We'll see if Harrison can track it down. And coming in to grab it is Schamberger. And I got to say, Ryan does not need to come off the mound to try to make a play like that with Harrison and Peters there. Love the enthusiasm from Schamberger, but that is a play that does not need to happen. Thankfully, Sham is okay. He did slide into the fence head first. Like I said, you love the enthusiasm, but when you've got your catcher in your first base, there's no need to have your pitcher come off the mound to try to recover that fly ball. But Sham is all right, and that's the most important thing. And he's usually playing at first base, so I'm sure he's not sure, but he's all right. Got to love the effort, though, by your pitcher. So we'll try it again here on 2-2. Uranga still at the plate as we lead things off here in the top of the fifth. The 2-2 is away, and the count will go full. I wish we had a replay of that slide from Ryan. That was all kinds of hectic. The 3-2 on the way. Slow chopper. It'll get past Lindsay, but it will go foul. Sham still in a good opportunity here to get the first out of the inning. Three balls and 2 strikes here. The 3-2. Off speed is up in the air. Coming over to track it down is Welly. He will make the catch for out number 1. So Schamberger able to break that streak and get that first leadoff batter out. And now Cannon Scrimmager will look to hit here. Scrimmager, a ground out victim in the second inning, struck out in the third. And he'll lead things off here in the 5th inning. First one on the way is in for a strike. The 0-1 offering on the way to Scrimmager is way away outside, and the count will go to 1-1. One ball, one strike here. Schamberger looking for back-to-back outs here, trying to keep the inning nice and short. The 1-1. That'll be lined into center field, a one-out base hit. And the Wolves have another base runner on as Scrimmager gets on with a single. And that'll bring up the top of the order in DeMario Faison. DeMario, a strikeout victim in the first, popped up in the second and grounded out in the third. Double play, still an opportunity here for Mingus. Faison awaiting the first offering here. Schamberger taking a long look at the runner at first. Pickoff move is not in time. Scrimmager is safe. Faison looking for his first base hit this evening, I should say. It's already past 5 o'clock. First offering on the way. That one is in the dirt. Harrison with a great pick. Throw to first. Peters able to grab that one as well. Not in time. The count will go to 1-0. And Scrimmager will stay over at first. 1-0 count here. Second offering. Pickoff move again, not in time. Now this is Shams thrown over twice now, and we've had one throw over from Harrison. We'll see if he focuses his attention here on the batter. I'm sure Scrimmager is going to try to take off at some point. The 1-0. Scrimmager will stay at first. That one will go in for a strike, and the count will go to 1-1. Scrimmager staying over at first base again. Another pickoff move. And it's a good instance of let your defense work. Sham was able to get that first out, worked real hard for that first out. And now with an opportunity, of course, Faison has yet to get a hit. So that double play is still a possibility. The 1-1. That one's high. Throw down again is not in time. Count will go to 2-1. Scrimmager still taking a pretty decent lead over at first. 2-1 count here to Faison. Pitch on the way. Throw over to first, again, not in time. You could tell Scrimmager knows that Schamberger is keeping an eye on him. And that's why, in my opinion, it's for Schamberger, his attention's got to go back to the batter, because Scrimmager's just going to keep playing over at first base, trying to distract Ryan Schamberger. All they need is a double play here, and we'll see if they get it. The 2-1. Scrimmager's going to take off. It's high in the air. Rogers will try to make the catch. We'll see if the Marauders can double him up. Throw on to first. It's going to be high and away. They don't get the double up, but they do get the second out of the inning. On the fly out into right field, and that's what I said. You just get your attention back onto the batter. They almost had the runner doubled up. And now Brock DiBattista will stride in with 2 outs. And a runner still over at first. DiBattista, a triple in the first, a single in the second, and then a single in the fourth. Did come around to score in the 4th inning. Great catch by Jahia Rogers over in right field. DiBattista looking to go 4 for 4 here. Schamberger looking for out number 3. He'll keep an eye at the runner scrimmager over at first. First pitch on the way is crushed into left field. Will it stay fair? And it will. It'll bounce off the top of the wall. Scrimmager will round third and come in to score. It'll be an RBI double with 2 outs for Brock DiBattista. So the score now 8-1 here in the 5th. And Corbin Triplett will stride in, looking to bring DiBattista in. Triplett looking for his first base hit. First one on the way. Popped up. That one will go out of the ballpark. And the count will go to 0-1. So an 0-1 count here to Corbin Triplett. As I mentioned, Triplett looking for his first base hit of the evening. Got on safely with in the first inning. Did come around to score. Grounded out in the second and grounded out in the fourth. The 0-1 on the way. That one's going to be high. Harrison will track it down. Count will go to 1-1. One ball and 1 strike here with 2 outs. Schamberger on 1-1, the pitch. Popped up in the air. Peters will try to track it down for the final out of the inning, and he'll get it. One does come around for the Wolves. They extend their lead 8-1. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Marauders looking to play catch-up.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon, attorneys at law. Trust well placed.
Carter Welly, Anthony Rivera, and Ben Balo will be the 1-2-3 for the Mingus Marauders here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They currently are down 8-1 to the Estrella Foothills Wolves. Carter Anderson pitching very well in relief. A 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd and a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. He'll look to do it again here in the 5th and keep those Marauder bats quiet as he'll face Carter Welly. Welly looking for a base hit. Struck out in the 2nd inning. His only plate appearance so far. First offering on the way. Welly will watch that one in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-0. One ball, no strikes here. The 1-0 offering is in the dirt. Back-to-back balls, and it'll go 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Welly awaiting the 2-0 pitch. Watches that one. Does find the strike zone, and the count will go to 2-1. Welly was able to load up the count on 3-2 when he struck out in his last plate appearance. As he pops that one up in the air. Coming to track it down will be the second baseman. That is Hitchcock. He will make the catch for the first out of the inning. And now Anthony Rivera will stride in. Or excuse me, that's Garrett Sloan over at second. Anthony Rivera, ground out victim in the 2nd inning. Looking for his first base hit of the evening. First pitch to Rivera is away, and the count will go to 1-0. Rivera, a first pitch swinging batter in the second inning. Lays off the first offering here in the fifth. The 1-0. In the air to center. Faison trying to track it down, and he will for the second out of the inning. Ben Balo now looking for a base hit. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the second. Mingus trying to prevent another 1-2-3 inning. Mingus has not scored a run since the first inning and has not gotten a hit since then either. First offering to Balo is low and for a strike. We thought maybe Harrison had a triple with 2 outs in the third, but he did not step on second, so Estrella Foothills has kept Mingus' bats quiet since the first. The 0-1. That one's high, and the count will go to 1-1. One ball, one strike here. Pitch on the way. That one is in for a strike, and the count will go to 1-2. So now Anderson in a really good spot here for another 1-2-3 inning. He's got 3 so far. One, of course, coming from triplet in the first, or in the second, the 1-2. Slow chopper, picked up by the shortstop, throw on to first. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Wolves. Mingus still down 8-1. They'll look to keep the bats quiet in the top of the sixth. We'll head there as well. Stay with us.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru window is the most convenient way to stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
Cooper Vanderhei, Garrett Sloan, and Jacob Hitchcock are the 1-2-3 here for the Estrella Foothills Wolves, and actually that'll be Keone Raber coming in relief of Vanderhei. So Raber will get his first opportunity at the plate as we pick things up here in the top of the sixth inning. Our score 8-1. First one on the way to Raber is away, and the count will go to 1-0. Raber did get an opportunity to bat in the victory against Prescott for Estrella Foothills. He was 1 for 1. And now coming in a pinch hit opportunity here. Watches that second pitch in, and the count will go to 1-1. One ball, one strike here. 1-1 from Schamberger is off the hands of Raber, and it almost takes the head off of the man on deck and Garrett Sloan. So Schamberger with an opportunity here was able to get the first batter out in the fifth and kept the damage pretty minimal. We'll see what he does here on 1-2. Runs inside, does not get the call. The count will go to 2-2. That one a little bit too inside and low. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Raber. The 2-2. Count will go full. Three balls and 2 strikes here. The payoff pitch. Into right field. Hustling in, trying to track it down is Balo. He won't get it. Sanchez is there to grab it. And it will be a leadoff single for Raber on a bloop shot. right in between second and right field as Sanchez unable to track it down. So a runner on first for Garrett Sloan, who has hit safely so far tonight in all 3 of his plate appearances. 2 singles and a double. Did come around to score in the 3rd. And now he's got a runner on first and no outs, and Schamberger's got to work out of another jam. Pickoff move to first is not in time. Very close over at first. Well, it looks like that left hand of Raber got in before the tag from Peters. So Sloan still awaiting the first offering here. Schamberger will take a look again, and they're going to call time. I think they're going to call balk. Yes, they are. So Raber will go over to second on the balk. And Schamberger's got to be careful. If you take that look over to first, it's got to be neck only. Cannot move the shoulders. And that's exactly what Schamberger did. He moved his motion towards first and didn't go to first, hence the balk. And now we'll see Garrett Sloan still waiting that first pitch. He'll get it, and it'll be an outside ball. Harrison will let it go, and Raber will head over to third. I will say the JV team is on the road right now taking on Estrella Foothills. The Mingus softball team is right now on the road taking on Prescott High School. They'll get a second opportunity against the Badgers on Wednesday. You can watch that game right here on Verde Valley TV. And the freshman baseball team is actually taking on Camp Verde here at home on the JV field. The 1-0. That one's away, and the count will go to 2-0. So everybody's playing today. All 3 levels for Mingus baseball, and of course, the JV and varsity team for softball on the road at Prescott. So a 2-0 count here to Garrett Sloan, and then do want to remind you, of course, we'll also have the baseball game here on Verde Valley TV when the Marauders take on Prescott at home. We'll have both broadcasts for you. The 2-0. That one is in the dirt. The count will go to 3-0. It will be Jackie Bessler on the call for the baseball game. I will be over at the softball field. And then playoffs will start on Saturday, and it will be myself and Jackie Bessler on the call for softball playoffs as the Mingus Marauders looking to lock up the first and second spot in the 4A conference, and they'll get a home game on Saturday. We'll let you know who that is a little bit later in the week. The 3-0 is fouled off, and the count will go to 3-1. And that game, of course, will be on May 8th, Saturday. We'll have some softball playoffs for you at home. So 3 balls and 1 strike here to Garrett Sloan. Schamberger taking a long look at the runner at first. The 3-1. Ground ball. It'll get right past third and short. Another run will come in and score. It is back-to-back singles for the Wolves. And that'll bring up Jacob Hitchcock. Hitchcock got on with a walk in the first, a single in the third, and then reached on an error in the fourth. And no outs as our score goes 9-1. Another long lead over at first. First one on the way. Hitchcock fouls that one. Count will go to 0-1. And if I'm Coach McCubbins, that's exactly what I'm doing against Ryan Schamberger, is taking a huge lead. We've seen Sham throw over to first multiple times. You almost want him to throw over as he takes a look. The 0-1 on the way. Hitchcock again, same spot in between third and short. 3 straight hits for the Wolves. And it'll be another pinch hitter here. It'll be number 22. That's Michael Arzabel. Let me get that double check here. Yep, Arzabel. Michael Arzabel, the junior, coming in to pinch hit. Our score is 9-1. And we'll see what Arzabel can do in his first plate appearance with runners on second and first. We'll get you a little bit more on him. Arzabel, as I mentioned, a junior coming into the season, looking to get his first base hit of the year. He's had 8 plate appearances so far, but no hits for the junior. And he'll look to get his first and continue the hit parade with runners on second and first. 9-1 our score. The Marauders, I believe, have Hunter Cogill warming up. And we'll probably see Cogill here, especially if Arzabel reaches or brings on a few more runs. First pitch on the way to Arzabel. The pitch. Swung on and missed for strike one. Sloan at second, Hitchcock over at first, both reaching on singles. Still no outs here in the sixth inning. The 0-1 in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-1. Throw over to second as Schamberger takes another look over at the runner at second. And again, you know, with no outs, got to be careful. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. The count will go to 1-2. One ball and two strikes here to Arzabel. Schamberger looking for the first out of the inning. We'll see if he gets it. 1-2 in the dirt, blocked by Harrison, keeps it in front. Both runners will advance. And now Schamberger will operate 2 balls and 2 strikes here with runners on third and second. The 2-2. That one is high and the count will go full. Dylan Moyer waiting on deck. Still no outs here with a runner on second and third. 3 balls and 2 strikes here. Schamberger trying to avoid the bases loaded jam. The 3-2. Outside corner, got him looking for a strikeout. First K for Schamberger so far. And one down for the Marauders as Dylan Moyer will stride back in. Moyer got on with a single in the second. And then was pinch hit for in the fifth and got on with a fielder's choice in the third. And one down for the Marauders here with still runners on third and second. That one is high and inside. Count will go to 1-0. One ball, no strikes here. Again, 1 out. Pitch on the way to Moyer. 1-0 is fouled off, and the count will go to 1-1. One ball, 1 strike here. The offering from Schamberger on 1-1. That one is away, and the count will go to 2-1. This is where Schamberger's going to have to be real selective with his pitches here. Going to have to get Moyer swinging. The 2-1. He does just that. Instead, he gets contact right into the glove of Anthony Rivera. They're going to try to make the throw home. Schamberger will cut it off. Throw to the plate is not in time. And Sloan will score. And we will get a new pitcher as Hunter Cogill will come in relief of Ryan Schamberger. We'll let Hunter warm up, and we'll take a break. Stay with us here. Mingus still down 10-1.
From the Glen Canyon Dam to the corner sidewalks, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has helped build Arizona and the Southwest since 1959. Much like the products they provide, Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement, has a strong sense of community and contributes to it in meaningful ways. Phoenix Cement is considered a premier employer and community supporter and would like to thank their friendly neighbors for 6 decades of continued support. Think harder, think concrete.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Hunter Cogill will come in relief. The sophomore pitcher did have an appearance against the Cactus Cobras last Wednesday in a 8-4 victory. 2 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 runs, no earned runs, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout for the sophomore pitcher, as Cogill will try to work out of the 2-out jam here for the Marauders with a runner over at second. Our score is 10-1 here in the 5th inning. Cogill trying to keep the bats quiet and looking to extend give the Marauders an opportunity to try to cut into the deficit in the bottom half of the inning. And we'll see what Connor Scrimmager can do. Scrimmager did get on with a single in the 5th and did come around to score. And we'll see what he can do here again. Runner on second, 2 outs for the Marauders. Schamberger able to get a strikeout and a fly out before being pulled. And now we'll see what Hunter Cogill can do. First one on the way to Scrimmager is a slow chopper. Alvarez picks it up at short, throw on to first to end the inning, and they do it. Marauders able to get out of it. 2 runs do come around on 3 hits. We'll head to the Marauder half of the 6th inning. Stay with us.
From the Merkin farm to your table, from their vines to your glass, Merkin Vineyards Tasting Room in Osteria, a sense of place for extended family and community. The Merkin mission is to deliver a total sustainable Arizona experience, with fruits and vegetables family farmed in the Verde Valley and vines grown on Arizona Merkin acreage. Pastas and breads made from scratch and served with daily seasonal specials. Keep an eye out for the Merkin pizza and gelato wagons using the same local ingredients.
Balancing your family, finances, and future is a lot of responsibility. Let Jennifer Griffin and her team at State Farm help. Jennifer Griffin is an Arizona native and a Mingus graduate, as well as a 3rd-generation State Farm agent, serving you in the same Main Street location for over 35 years. Jennifer Griffin and her team want to wish all of the Mingus athletes the best of luck this season. Go Marauders! Jennifer Griffin and State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right.
We pick things up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Marauders down 10-1. They will face a new pitcher on the mound for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. That is number 22, Michael Arezabal, excuse me. We'll see what Arezabal can do in his outing in relief. Arezabal came in as a pinch hitter earlier on. Coming into this game, pitching quite well. 1.91 ERA, 2 wins on the season in 3 appearances. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 1 earned run, and 2 strikeouts for the junior pitcher. And he'll look to keep those statistics good as Jan Alvarez will stride in here. It'll be Alvarez, and then Trey Peters, and then Zach Harrison. First offering on the way. Alvarez watches that one in for a strike. Mingus trying to play catch-up here, down 10-1. The 0-1 on the way. That'll be smacked foul. And the count will go to 0-2. Two strikes here to Jan Alvarez. The 0-2. In right field. Trying to track it down is Vanderhei. He's going to keep tracking it down. It's going to fall. Alvarez around first. Now he's rounding second, and he will stay. So Alvarez gets on with a leadoff double, and Trey Peters will try to bring him in. Peters got on with a single in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. And here in his 3rd plate appearance, we'll look to bring around that man right there on second base, Jan Alvarez, who's arguably got the best stash on the team. Peters looking for something to drive here. First one on the way. Alvarez will stay at second. Peters watches that one in for a strike. Oh, 1 count here to Trey Peters. Pitch on the way from a raise a ball. Peters gets that one off the hands. Coming over and grabbing it is Sloan for the first out of the inning. 1 down for the Wolves. And now Zach Harrison will look for something to drive. Harrison with a man on second. Got on with a walk in the first and had a weird play in the 3rd inning. And we'll see if he can get a base hit here with a runner on second. Now want to get past the catcher. Alvarez will advance to 3rd, and he'll stay there. Still only 1 out here with Harrison up at the plate. Harrison looking for a similar at-bat that he had in the 4th inning, or excuse me, in the 3rd inning, where it looked like he had a triple. I know I keep harboring on it, but Zach is up at the plate now as he calls time, and the issue was that Harrison didn't step on second, so he was out at second, forced out at second base. So he'll try to do it this time and put it in the same spot he did. Try to cut into the deficit here. First one on the way. That one's high, and the count will go to 1-0. Ryan Schamberger waiting on deck. The 1-0 offering, the pitch on the way. Harrison watches that one away. Throw down to 3rd is not in time. Count will go to 2-0. Alvarez is safe at 3rd. 2 balls and no strikes. Here to Zach Harrison. Or excuse me, the count is actually 3-0. So the 3-0 on the way to Harrison is swung on and missed. Chase that high pitch. Potentially ball 4, but the count will go to 3-1. So Harrison saw it. He knows what he did wrong. All smiles. So he'll try it again here on 3-1. Of course, this time, anything close, he really is going to have to take a hack on it. And we'll see what he's offered. The pitch on 3-1. Pickoff move to 3rd is not in time. Three balls and 1 strike. Harrison looking for a base hit with 1 out. The 3-1. Off speed is away. He'll get on with a walk, throw down to 3rd, hits off of Alvarez, and he'll stay at 3rd. As Harrison gets on with a walk. And now Ryan Schamberger will look to bring in both runners, 1 at 3rd and 1 at 1st. We'll see how long Zach Harrison stays at first base. Maybe he can try to take off to 2nd. Runners on the corners here, and it's not going to take too much for Sham to bring around a couple and cut into the deficit. This will be the biggest comeback the Marauders have had since, in all honesty, the Winslow game. Where Mingus found themselves ahead, then found themselves down, and ended up winning it in extras. Harrison is going to take off. He will draw a throw from Moyer. Coming in for an opportunity to score is Alvarez. He is safe. He got under the tag. Jan Alvarez reading that beautifully and coming in to score on the throw. Harrison reaches 2nd safely. And the Marauders are now down only 8, 10-2. If we take another look at it there, you see it was a nice throw from short. But Alvarez able to beat the throw right under the tag. Or excuse me, beat the tag as he slides under it. You see right there, he comes right in, and he's safe. So smart base running there from Alvarez and from Harrison. Schamberger awaiting the 1-0 offering, and that one is in for a strike, and the count will go to 1-1. So dangerous to throw down to 2nd base with a runner on 3rd. And you can see why, as Alvarez, while it was a close play, was safe at the plate. 1-1 on the way here to Schamberger. The pitch. Outside corner, does hit it. Count will go to 1-2. That's kind of what you want to do, is draw that throw from the 2nd baseman and do exactly what Jan Alvarez did. Take a decent lead, watch the throw, and then take off. And Harrison doing a great job reaching safely as well. 1-2 on the way to Schamberger with 1 out. Into left, we'll see if it settles. Right over the head of the shortstop. Harrison will go easily to third. It'll be a base hit for Schamberger. So Harrison now at third. Schamberger with a single, his first of the evening. Runners on the corners again for the Marauders. And we'll see what Ryan Lindsay can do. Jonathan Sanchez waiting on deck. Lindsay hitless so far, was hit by a pitch in the first and then flew out in the fourth. Waiting the first offering here. Lindsay takes a hack at the first one. It will get past the catcher. Throw down to second is not in time. Harrison will stay at third. Not sure if that was a hit and run situation there, but Lindsay unable to get a piece of it. And so an 0-1 count here. Go one on the way to Lindsay, the pitch. Right up the middle for a base hit. That should bring around 2. Harrison will score. Schamberger will round third and score easily. It is a RBI single. 2 RBI single for Ryan Lindsay. With only 1 out. Marauders cooking a little bit here as Jonathan Sanchez will come in. 4-10 our score. So Jonathan Sanchez, who came in relief of Jahia Rogers not too long ago, will get his first plate appearance here. Ryan Lindsay over at first base, able to get the 2 RBI single. Lindsay's going to take off from first to second. Sanchez swings, throw down is not in time. Lindsay will stay at second, and yes, he will. Lindsay thought about taking third, but didn't get up quickly enough. They're actually going to send him back to first, and they're going to say batter interference. So Sanchez is out. And there's 2 down, so Lindsay's got to go all the way back to first. 2 down on the batter interference from Jonathan Sanchez, and now we will see Emmett Smith striding in. So now 2 outs here, and Emmett Smith will try to bring Ryan Lindsay over in to score. First one on the way, the pitch. Smith watches that one away. It'll go for a ball, and the count will go to 1-0. Anthony Rivera on deck. Emmett Smith looking for something to drive here on the 1-0. The pitch. Takes a hack at that one, but it will go foul. One count here to Emmett Smith. The pitch on 1-1. Outside corner does hit the corner in for a strike. Lindsay's safe over at first. So now a 1-2 count here. Anderson trying to get out of the inning. Did surrender 3 runs so far on 3 hits and a walk. And Smith will look to stay alive here with 2 outs. The 1-2 on the way. Smith, it hits him. I think they say he leaned into it. And it'll go foul. So Smith's going to stay at the plate. And as they're going to say, he leaned into the pitch. So the count will remain 1-2. With 2 outs, Ryan Lindsay still over at first base for the Marauders. The Wolves trying to carry their lead into the 7th. The 1-2, check swing did not go. And the count will go to 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Emmett Smith. The 2-2 offering here from Anderson. That one's fouled off, and Smith will stay alive. Two-two count here with 2 outs. Smith trying to keep the inning going for the Marauders with a runner on first. The 2-2. Popped up, and it'll go foul. It'll take a hop and go foul. So Smith will keep going. Doing a great job battling at the plate so far. Taking a hack at anything close. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Emmitt Smith. Anderson looking to get out of the inning. Pick off to first is not in time, so we'll try again. So 2-2 count here to Smith. Again, Anderson trying to get out of it here. The pitch. Off speed is off the end of the bat. It'll hop straight up. Shortstop trying to track it down. Left fielder trying to track it down. It will be Faison, the center fielder, who actually makes the catch to end the inning. We will head to the top of the 7th inning. The Marauders trying to keep the bats quiet of Estrella Foothills, but maybe some light here at Patterson Field. Stay with us.
All Price Insurance on Main Street in Cottonwood is your local insurance provider for personal and commercial insurance. Call and compare 23 insurance companies for home, health, auto, RV, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Specialty insurance and insurance bonds are no problem at All Price Insurance. Call or visit All Price Insurance today.
Accidents happen. Red Rock Collision knows that your car is the second largest investment you're likely to make. For over 15 years, Red Rock Collision has been there to negotiate for you, the customer, not the insurance company. John and his staff promise quality repair with honesty and integrity. You can rest easy now. They'll return your car as safe as the day it was built.
The Marauders looking to keep the bats of the Estrella Foothill Wolves quiet as Ryan Lindsay will get an opportunity to pitch for Mingus. Hunter Cogill, in his one appearance, pitched very well, was able to get the only batter he faced out to end the inning. And now we will see what Ryan Lindsay can do. Bit of a bullpen game for the Marauders here. And Mario Faison will lead things off. Faison looking for his first base hit of the evening. Struck out in the first, popped up in the second, grounded out in the third, and flew out in the fifth. And now we'll see what Ryan Lindsay can give him. Lindsay on the season in 6 and 2 innings pitched. Currently carries a 9.45 ERA as that one goes foul. 12 hits allowed, 9 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts for the senior. Of course, we're used to seeing Ryan Lindsay out in the field playing a combination of short and third. I think he's played a little second this season as well. Has pitched, obviously. And we'll see what he can do here on an 0-1 count. The 0-1 on the way is away for a ball. I do have to apologize. I was calling the pitcher who was just on the mound for, I'm sure there's somebody screaming at the television monitor. Hang on, I'll correct myself here after this pitch. That one is swung on and missed. Count will go to 1-2. Pitcher who was just pitching is Michael Orazabal for the Wolves. I was calling him Anderson, which was the previous pitcher. So to correct that, it was Orazabal who was pitching that previous inning as Faison pops that one up. Coming over to track it down and making the catch is Anthony Rivera for out number 1. Brock DiBattista will stride in. Quick out for Ryan Lindsay as he looks for a 1-2-3 inning. The Marauders able to tack on 3 runs in the 6th to cut the deficit 10-4. So we'll see if we're in for some late game heroics here. Last time we were here, it was an extra inning game against Winslow. Mingus ended up winning that one on a walk-off homer from Zach Harrison as that one skied in the air. Balo's going to track it down. It might be Schamberger making the catch. It will be for out number 2. And now Corbin Triplett will stride in, and Ryan Lindsay with an opportunity here at a 1-2-3 inning. So 2 straight flyouts for Ryan Lindsay. And now Corbin Triplett will stride in. Triplett also looking for a base hit. as that one's fouled off, and the count will go to 0-1. When the Marauders do get a chance to bat, it will be Anthony Rivera, Ben Balo, and Jan Alvarez. Marauders were able to tack on 3 in the previous inning. The 0-1 is high, and the count will go to 1-1. Nice try there by Zach Harrison to try to bring that high off speed in for a strike. Triplett awaiting the 1-1 here. Fouled off, and the count will go to 1-2. So here we go. Here's an opportunity for Ryan Lindsay at a 1-2-3 inning. It would be the Marauder first 1-2-3 inning of this game. Lindsay, the 1-2 offering. Oh, not a bad spot to miss from Ryan Lindsay as that one runs inside, and the count will go to 2-2. That was a nice pitch, but unfortunately does not go his way, so we'll try it again here on 2-2. That one is low, and the count is full. Great eye by Corbin Triplett to not swing at that one, or even the previous one. So a full count here to Ryan Lindsay, trying to get out of it. The payoff pitch on 3-2. Chopper up the middle. Alvarez tracks it down at short. Throw on to first. 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Lindsay. How about that play by Jan Alvarez? Able to get the final out. The Marauders carry a little momentum. They've got 3 outs to do it here in the bottom of the third. They're down 10-3. Bottom of the 7th will head.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles and go Marauders.
The most common reasons for bankruptcy are unforeseen circumstances like tragedies, illness, unemployment, and foreclosures. I'm Michael Gordon. We understand your situation and your need to look at all the alternatives. Call Gordon & Gordon for a free, non-judgmental bankruptcy or foreclosure consultation. Ask about zero-down bankruptcy options. Gordon & Gordon Attorneys at Law. Trust well placed.
Anthony Rivera, Ben Balo, and Jan Alvarez will face Demario Faison here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Marauders have 3 outs to tie it up or get the victory here as they are currently down 10-4 against the Estrella Foothills Wolves. Rivera looking for his first base hit, grounded out in the 2nd and flew out in the 5th. And we'll see what he can do here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Faison coming into this game does have a few pitching stats on the schedule. On the stat sheet. Currently coming in with a 4.36 ERA, 1 win on the season, as that one is in for a strike in 11 appearances. 1 save for Demario Faison. And he starts out Anthony Rivera with a fastball for a strike. The 0-1 comes right back with him. And Alvarez is able to get a piece on that fastball. The count will go to 0-2. So we'll see what Faison can do. 0-2 count here to Rivera. That one is in the dirt. They're going to call it foul as Rivera was just able to get a piece of it. Going to have to shorten his swing up here and look for anything close on 0-2. Ben Balo waiting on deck. Marauders coming down to their final 3 outs. Faison pitching well early. Able to get 2 quick strikes and then a foul ball. Rivera awaits the 0-2, the pitch. That one is fouled off, and Rivera will stay alive, taking a hack at that high fastball. We'll see if Faison will operate with his off-speed here. He's been feeding Rivera nothing but fastballs. And on the 0-2 count, we'll see what he offers him. He does give him that curveball, and Rivera makes him pay with a single into center field. Base hit for Anthony Rivera, his first of the game, and what a time to get it. And here's Ben Balo, who's also looking for a base hit. Struck out in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd, and grounded out in the 5th. Runner on first for Ben Balo. Pitch on the way is in the dirt. And the count will go to 1-0. We'll see how Faison does out of the stretch. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. He's been working out of the stretch. The 1-0. That one's in for a strike. Throw down to first is not in time. 1-1 count. One on the way to Balo is swung on and missed. The count will go to 1-2. So Faison looking for a quick out here against Ben Balo. Jan Alvarez waiting on deck. Alvarez has hit safely so far in all three of his plate appearances. The 1-2 on the way to Ben Balo. The pitch. Ground ball to second. Olsen unable to grab it. It'll go under his glove. Or Sloan, excuse me. It'll go under his glove, and it'll be another base hit for the Marauders. Back-to-back hits. And runners on first and second. We'll see what Jan Alvarez can do. Still no outs. Alvarez, a single in the first, came around to score. Got on with a walk in the third, and then got on with his double in the sixth, then came around to score. And with runners on second and first, no outs, Alvarez looked to keep it going. First one on the way, in for a strike. Marauders showed a bit of a offensive flash in the bottom of the sixth inning. See if they can keep that going here. Still down by a lot. That one's away, and the count will go to 1-1. Trey Peters waiting on deck, and Alvarez swings and misses at the second pitch. The count will go to 1-2. Faison still looking for his first out of the inning. Runners on second and first. Alvarez awaits the 1-2, the pitch. That's away, and the count will go to 2-2. Alvarez awaiting the 2-2 offering. Faison, the off speed is a high chopper. Sloan can't make the play to first. Bases are loaded. 3 straight hits for the Marauders. And Trey Peters will stride in, looking for another base hit. He got one in the first, and is hitless so far after that. Bases are loaded. And here comes Coach McCubbins. Peters is probably going to get fed a nice diet of fastballs. Nice and high. And we'll see if Trey bites on him. Coach McCubbin's just trying to settle his team down. Of course, if Trey does go with the long ball, if he gets in front of one and sends it over the fence, Estrella Foothills is still in a position to win, because then the bases would be emptied. There would still be no outs, of course. But as you get later into the Marauder lineup, it gets a little bit tougher. However, if Faison can get the double play and keep the Marauders off the board, we're talking about a whole different ballgame here. So we'll see what Peters gets. Of course, Trey looking to drive something into the outfield, into the gap. Try to bring around a few here. First one on the way to Peters, with the bases loaded. Watches that fastball low and in for a strike. You want Peters to bite on anything high or low. The 0-1. In for a strike. Back-to-back strikes for Faison. Zach Harrison waiting on deck. And, of course, Harrison has reached with walks so far, so a very patient plate approach. 0-2 count here. Peters has got to protect. That one is in the dirt, and the count will go to 1-2 on the fastball in the dirt. Peters looking to drive something on 1-2. The pitch. Off speed, high chopper. Double play possibility, short to second. Throw on to first is not in time. Peters beats it out. One does come around. That's Anthony Rivera. Balo goes to third. Alvarez is out at second, and Peters gets on. And here comes Zach Harrison. One down. Harrison looking for something to drive here. As I mentioned, has only reached on walks so far. Ryan Schamberger waiting on deck. He found his first base hit last inning. And Faison will step off. First one on the way. In for a strike. Oh, 1 count. Harrison gets a piece of that one into left field. Coming over and making the catch is the left fielder. Tagging and scoring is Ben Balo. 6-10 our score. So Balo scores. Peters stays at first, and Harrison is out on the sacrifice RBI, but doing his job and bringing in a run. And now Schamberger will be tasked with extending the inning with 2 outs and a runner on first. First one on the way to Schamberger is low and away for a ball, and the count will go to 1-0. Like I mentioned, Sham finding his first base hit in the 6th inning, and then did it come around and score. Looking for another one here, and the Marauders would love it. One 1-0 on the way. Schamberger right up the middle, a base hit. Peters is safe at second, and Schamberger with another single. Do your job and do it well. Ryan Schamberger with a base hit, and now Ryan Lindsay will look to extend the 2-out rally. Waiting on deck is Jonathan Sanchez. Lindsay looking to extend the inning. First pitch is in the dirt. Taking off and advancing is Peters and Schamberger. And now a little bit easier for Ryan Lindsay, who also found a base hit in the 6th. We'll see if he can bring around another 2. One of the biggest comebacks for the Marauders this season, if they can pull it off. Found themselves down 2-1 going into the 6th. Lindsay fouls that one off, and he'll stay alive. 2-1 the count. So 2-1 count here. Lindsay just looking for something to piece up into the outfield and bring around 2. The 2-1. Outside corner and in for a strike. So now Faison with a huge opportunity here. 2 balls and 2 strikes to shut down the rally and end the game for the Marauders. Lindsay trying to stay alive. The 2-2 is in the dirt, and the count will go full. Faison working quickly on that last pitch, and he'll keep doing it here. 3 balls and 2 strikes, looking for the victory here. Marauders looking to extend the 2-out rally. The payoff pitch on 3-2 is in for a backwards K, and that'll do it. Estrella Foothills walking away with a non-region game, 10-6 victory. Faison coming in relief and getting the job done. Great game for the Marauders, great game for the Estrella Foothills Wolves. We'll talk about both teams when we come back from this break. Stay with us.
The Suzy Q Market is the most convenient stop for road trips with 1,500 beverage selections and plenty of snacks. And save on fuel with the Marathon Make It Count reward program. The Suzy Q drive-thru is a stop for those essentials on the way home.
Road trips start here with something for everyone.
At Suzy Q.
Shop local first, always.
Go Marauders!
Lawler Construction has been a premier local builder of custom residential and commercial projects for 36 years. Using green construction methods, Lawler Construction builds efficiency into every custom design. Lawler Construction is a certified Energy Star builder. For examples, visit LawlerConstructionAZ.com. They thank you for your business confidence and continued referrals. Lawler Construction, a proud supporter of baseball and softball at all levels. Look for Lawler Construction homes at Mountain Gate and Clarkdale this summer.
A tough loss for the Mingus Marauders as they fall to the Estrella Foothills Wolves 10-6 and what could have been and was looking like a possible comeback victory, but the Marauders playing very well in those last two innings, just unfortunately a little too late for this team. Coach Casada will focus his attention on the road as the Marauders take on the Prescott Badgers. And, of course, the Estrella Foothills Wolves will be back at home to take on Tempe High School. For those Estrella Foothills Wolves, though, 4 for 5, Brock DiBattista played very well. Cooper Vanderhei went 3 for 4, and Garrett Sloan going 4 for 4. Some great pitching performances from Corbin Triplett. He pitched well in his short outing. Anderson, man, what an absolute performance from Carter Anderson, the junior. It pitched very, very well. Had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings, and then coming in relief, Arezabal pitched pretty well. Did give up a couple runs in the 6th, and same for Faison, coming in and getting the victory and getting the job done for him. They, like I mentioned, the Wolves will be on the back at home, to take on Tempe. For the Marauders, a bit of a tough day, but showed a lot of promise at the end. Like I mentioned, just a little too late. As Jan Alvarez goes 3 for 3, and Ryan Schamberger 2 for 4. And, of course, Zach Harrison 0 for 1, but did get that sacrifice RBI. But Marauders will look to get a victory against the Prescott Badgers on the road tomorrow. The baseball team will be back at home on Wednesday to take on the Prescott Badgers in their final regular season game. You can catch that one right here on Verde Valley TV. Jackie Bessler will be on the call for that one. I will be over at the softball field on Wednesday for the Marauders softball game as the Mingus Marauders look to keep it rolling. Last we heard, they were currently up 6-4 against the Prescott Badgers on the road, so they'll look to hopefully carry a win. It's looking like a win right now into Wednesday in that softball matchup against Prescott on Wednesday. As I mentioned, we'll have both of those games for you right here on Verde Valley TV. And then on Saturday, we will have softball playoffs for you as the Marauders will get a first-round matchup against somebody. We'll get you that as we get a little bit closer to the end of the week. So Marauders walk away with a loss. They'll focus their attention to Prescott on the road on Tuesday. For everybody here at Verde Valley TV, I'm Philip Katafamo wishing you a great rest of your night, and we will see you on Wednesday for baseball and softball.